Citadel 02 is considered to be one of the hardest tricks in any Source game and is rightfully earned. The first step in Citadel 01 is to do a damage boost with the RPG into a glass pillar with a very precise notch in the side of it. If you hit it correctly, you will not take fall damage when you land on the platform below. When you strafe over to the platform on the right, it is crucial that you do not go too far right, as if you go too far right, you will hit a trigger and the screen will fade to white, rendering the boost impossible. For this step we will be grabbing a scanner with the gravity gun. If there is not a scanner nearby, or you do see one that's going away from you, you can save load to change their pathing in hopes that they will come towards you quicker. While grabbing the scanner, you must throw it to the left as far as possible without having it hit the walls. Doing this will cause the scanner to take no damage from the walls, so it will make the grenade boost on the next step much easier. I personally like to drop the grenade on this line right here. However, you can put the grenade anywhere you want as long as it can get you into the next level trigger without overshooting the middle platform. Landing on the middle platform is not a requirement for the easy setup, but it is for the hard setup. I would recommend trying to land on the middle platform as many times as possible in practice to find your own grenade lineup. When you have made it through, save load the game a few times just to make sure that you can get rid of the white light and have a sense of direction about where exactly you are. Destroy the scanner you are currently holding with the gravity gun to attempt to get a shield battery out of it. This is going to make the easier skip significantly more user-friendly, as you have more health to work with. For the easier version of the skip, you must bail to the side either on the left or right side and essentially weave your way between the walls. You can think of this as playing a KZ map. For the first boost, you must use an SMG grenade and circle strafe nade boost over to the platform on the left. From there, you must hit the corner with sufficient speed to launch you over the bridge and onto the next platform. From there, it is a matter of keeping your speed to the next platform. Same type of stuff. You must hit the corner with sufficient speed to get onto the next platform. When passing over this smaller platform, you can keep speed into the wall across the gap. If you cannot cross the gap, you can do 3 ABHs while holding plus walk, and you will be able to get around 1200 speed or more. If you have 1200 speed, odds are you are going to be able to cross the gap sufficiently, so make sure to crouch at the end to guarantee that you can make it to the platform. Get to the end of the platform and do another circle strafe nade launch to get around the corner and keep speed onto the next platform. If you find yourself not being able to space out your jumps correctly, you can throw in a toggle duck or do the sequence while crouched. From there, you must keep your speed into the final boost, which is arguably the hardest boost out of all three. Whilst at 3500 speed, you must bail to the left on the ramped surface to give yourself a little bit of air time. From there, you must use an SMG grenade to boost yourself all the way to the top, weaving between the platforms and the rails. You can do this boost with around 45 HP if you are lucky. However, if you are a newer runner, I believe that you should have at least 50 HP or more when going for this boost. You have two choices for lineups if you want to do the boost on this specific spot. Regardless of which lineup you use, you must be standing and you must hit the lower slope along the wall in order for this boost to work. If you do not, you will not get enough height to clear the tracks. I personally do the setup that is most similar to Wilbo's. By placing the grenade right between the wall and the ramp, I am able to get a consistent amount of height every time I do this trick. The downside is that it is less HP costly and therefore I get less speed from it, therefore making your chances of reaching the top lower than if you were to do the Buster setup, which is essentially aiming a little bit up so that way the SMG grenade is perfectly timed to explode right below you to give yourself the highest speed and the highest chance of making it to the top. Regardless of the boost you do, you must get to the top platform on the rails. By getting substantial speed, you can build up enough speed to make it on top of the slope where you're supposed to go, and then you can do a back hop or just plus strafe your way into the room with the fizzler. The harder skip for Citadel 02 is of course harder, but it is also harder in terms of HP management. When doing the harder route for Citadel 02, you can boost off the middle platform with an RPG. However, it requires a tight timing and risk of hitting the pods and instantly killing you. You can offset the pod slightly by save loading twice at the later half of the level transition, and then you can save load 5 more times when going into the next level, and then you can save load twice to get rid of the white screen. This should offset the pods. This clears a path in the middle of the long corridor, making it so that way it can be easier to do the RPG boost. The pod offset technique is not required to do the RPG boost. The grenade boost into the level change trigger is the same as the easy one, however, you must land on the middle platform in order to perform the first boost. Despite some top level runners not doing so, I would still highly recommend that you take the shield from the first scanner that you carry into the next level. This is going to make HP management easier, but that does not mean that you will be able to do all 3 of the boosts demonstrated. You must crouch, sprint, hold a side direction, and strafe into that side direction, shoot an RPG, and jump immediately after in order to get the most amount of speed possible. Bottom line, get over the bridge with around 45 HP or somewhere in that ballpark, just to play it safe. When landing on the first platform, face away from the platform so that way you can bounce into the wall so you get height, and the natural speed will send you along the right track over the bridge. From there, you must cross the third platform, and then the giant chasm, where the route begins to change. Instead of performing a boost with an SMG grenade, we must bounce from one side of the chasm to the other while maintaining speed and strafing right to avoid losing any speed. My personal hop pattern for this is that I do one backward circle strafe and I do 2 hops, but the second one is facing across the chasm so I can boost myself over to the end, hit a wall, and then with the natural ramp of the wall, I can curve around and land onto the next platform. If you go too high on this boost, you can indeed take fall damage. Try to avoid this as much as possible. If you have good HP at the end, you can go for either lineup, the Buster lineup or the Wobo lineup or whatever lineup you please. However, if you do not have a lot of HP, you might have to do the world record route, or you might have to do the nadeless route. The world record route and the nadeless route both do this while crouched. This is the only way to get enough speed to make it to the top level of the track with barely any assistance from a grenade. For the world record route, a grenade is placed on the side of a wall just under the track, where the grenade does not kill the player, but gives just barely enough speed to make it to the top of the track. The nadeless route is the same as the world record route. However, with the nadeless route, you can have just barely enough speed to make it to the track without the assistance of a grenade. While these boosts at the end are very flashy, they are not required, as if you have enough HP, you can of course do the safer Buster or Wobo lineup. From then on, it's more of the same. Get on top of the ledge and get to the Fizzler. Common problems include entering a pod or having the scanner destroyed. If you transition maps with the scanner held at an incorrect angle, you will instead end up inside the pod and not on the platform. Do not let the scanner hit the wall. If the scanner hits the wall, it's likely to receive damage and it will have a higher chance of breaking when doing the grenade boost. If the scanner you are currently holding is destroyed during the boost, you can attempt to replace the grenade at a different angle to make the scanner take less damage. Overshooting the middle platform can be fixed by entering the trigger with less speed. If you are undershooting and cannot make it to the level trigger, try replacing the grenade or try jumping at a different time to attempt to gain more height. If you miss the middle platform, you can either retry the boost to end up on top of it, or you can bail to the left by strafing and try to do the KZ movement from there. This is a common practice. The jumps on the side are perhaps some of the simplest problems to understand and diagnose. Get in the corner of the wall and then do the boost from there. This will give you the highest chance of success. While jumping from the middle of the platform is still possible, it is recommended that you get in the corner, as the corner will allow you to gain the most speed and give you the most optimal angle for turning. When on the platforms, you can sometimes have an incorrect hop pattern. It is recommended that you use toggle duck to change up your hop pattern in hopes of making it to the end and get airtime. Every runner has their own personal hop pattern and technique that they do, and it is recommended that you find your own or find a technique that works for you. It is possible to lose speed very easily on all of the platforms. Most of the platforms have backups, except for the first one after the first boost. If you land on this platform with 0 speed or are unable to get over the bridge, you must reload and retry the boost. If you lose speed on the bridge or on the second platform, just circle strafe off or build your speed up enough to where you can jump off the end and continue on as normal. For the last platform, however, it's a little bit trickier. If you lose your speed on the last platform before the final boost, you can regain your speed from 0 if you start all the way at the end. However, this can be quite challenging, so for most people's best interest, to reload the save that you were previously at and continue on from there. When approaching the final boost, it is crucial that you maintain maximum speed for the final boost. As well, you must not shoot the grenade too far right, left, up, or down. These angles can often render the boost impossible. When doing the final hop pattern up to the slope where the fizzler is, it is recommended that you use a hop pattern or some means of consistency to be able to make it on top of the slope consistently. As well, sprinting up the side of the slope with a lot of speed does help as well, as opposed to not sprinting and waiting for your speed to be carried naturally. Common problems include incorrect save load timing to offset the pods during the level transition. This can be fixed by doing different save load timings, as source engine loads can vary differently from one computer to another. Another common problem is messing up the first RPG shot. It is a very tight circle strafe and nade launch combination. You need to shoot the rocket before you jump, however the timing for this is very tight. There is no easy fix for this boost, you have to practice it. In order to do the third boost, you must do the second boost without the SMG grenade. This is incredibly difficult and I consider it to be one of the harder parts of the route. This is another one of those tricks where you can't fix it easily, but a hop pattern may help in it. If my hop pattern demonstrated earlier does not work out for you, you can try a different hop pattern or a different technique, but regardless, you must get across the gap without using a grenade and damaging yourself. Be sure to sprint while strafing in the air. This will make your chances of crossing the gap higher than if you weren't sprinting.